Hello and welcome back. We will have a look at the RS.9 train set in a moment, but I've just been fiddling with this locomotive over the last week, and I've been sort of cleaning up these wagons. We'll have a very quick glance at those in a moment. So let me just put these controls down for a second. So I don't know whether you remember, a few videos back I was having trouble with the uncoupling with this, so I have replaced the hooks in it like I said I was going to, but we'll have a glance at that in a moment. So I've been a bit under the weather. There's been a cold going around here. It's got me, it's got my son, my wife, so I've been a bit sort of under the weather the last few days, but I've been in that sort of state where sitting and knocking wheels out and cleaning wagons up and things has been quite sort of therapeutic. So I've been doing that. We've got a few there sort of ready to go. We've got whoops, I should have taken the axles out of that. We've got the bolster wagon there, and we've got the other bits and pieces in the box there for the pins to go on there. So that's all ready to go. And you see I've just happily dropped the axles, which are waiting to be cleaned. Where are we? There's an axle. We're going to get some focus in there. There we go. So that's all a bit sticky. No rust or anything on that one, so it's going to be relatively easy. So this bogie, I've harvested the hook. You just saw them lying, or the dead ones from the diesel shunter. I've replaced the hooks. So I had one out of either end of there, so that's a really dead wagon. It's not a lot going for that one. What else have we got? We've got the shell and BP tanker there. We've got the wheels out of that one. So these will come out to play on another day. We've got a fish wagon there. So that's all underway. Beginning to feel a little better now. So it's was it over a week since I got around to making a video. I wouldn't have been able to talk for this long without coughing, sniffing, blowing my nose and so on. It's been in a real state. So we'll just jump the other side and we'll have a look at that. And we've got the terrific RS.9 set just ready to have a look at as well. And we've got the catalogue out. I think if we just have a look at these first, you can see the sort of wrinkle in those. I think I'd mentioned I couldn't straighten them out anymore, and they were sort of hanging over the hoop, and they were like that, and the uncoupler couldn't push them up far enough to release at all. It's strange, because these things, when you don't want them to come apart, they come apart quite freely, but these ones wouldn't. So I believe that they should be sort of flat across the top there, and they're sort of like that. So I don't think that's right. Certainly the ones I took out of those dead items over there were not like that. So we've got them in there now. Ooh, I'm just wobbling around with the camera. So if I put the uncoupler in here now, and we'll just do that, and we'll bring that back, and they come apart really nicely. So let's just have a swift look at that, see if we can get some focus on there. So I took the rivets out, put the same ones back in, just a little touch of rocket card glue on the edge of the rivet to hold it in place. We're going to get focus in that one there. So there we go. So that one's all back in as well. So I think that's been quite a nice fix, really. So again, I've had this locomotive in action for ages and not really come across the issue. Again, I was probably quite relieved that the wheels did not the wheels, the couplings didn't keep coming undone. That's when you want them to come undone. They didn't. Let's give that a go. See if we can retain a little focus in this area here. And then we'll just move that away. So I think that's quite successful. Anyway, we'll leave that one alone for now. That wagon is one of the ones I've cleaned up. I showed some of these wagons when I came back from the TCS show a few videos ago. Some of them from a different time, but yeah, they're all ready to go. All wheels nice and cleaned, and we'll definitely have some fun with those. Perhaps we'll get these on the track next week. Lovely 3-part tank wagon there, acetate by the looks of it. So let's have a quick glance at this RS.9 set. Fresh battery in the camera. You start these things and you leave the camera running when you're not looking. Before you know it, you're out of power. So here's the RS.9 set, Intercity Express. And we saw this in a catalogue, I think it was last video, which was the 66 catalogue. This is the 67 catalogue. So just 1 year later, I think the set was only available for the 2 years, 66, 67. So I thought we'd look at it in there. Some lovely bold colours on here, aren't there? The sort of Midlander set there. And the blue Pullman. Great items. Let's have a quick look at the cover. We've got the M7 there. So we had that running recently as well. Gorgeous locomotive. So let's have a quick look through the catalogue. We won't stay long with it. This one's not in great condition. The staples were away. It's very, very soft paper. I've just seen a piece of paper in there I wasn't expecting to see. So again, lovely items. Clip fit, foam underlay, magnet adhesion, giving you more pulling power. And we've got synchro smoke. And what else we've got here? Automatic uncoupling. Just been talking about uncoupling. Mine's not that automatic. We do have the Series 3 uncoupling rails there. I really, really like those. And the set we're going to look at has an uncoupling rail with it. And we've got lights and signals. Got to get some signalling on this railway. So let's have a look there. So we've got the Hymet. We saw a blue one of those in action the other day. I wonder what this is. I can't remember. This is a very fragile piece of paper. What's that? Excursions daily to Lytham St Anne's, Blackpool, Thornton and Fleetwood. So it's a timetable of sorts, isn't it? I can't see a date there. Actually, there's a whole run of dates here. So this would be for the 64-65 season by the looks of it. What a wonderful thing. I don't know whether I knew this was here or not. So I have a feeling, and I know where it may have come from, because I know how this particular catalogue came to me, but I must have skipped over that, or very short memory anyway. And there is the locomotive I'm looking for. I have 2 copies of this catalogue. So R751. So I think this one showed up. Let me have a look at my notes. I think it was 65 that this came along. Let me grab the notes. So here we go. Yeah, 65, 67 in the green, I think. And then it went into blue. These are a gorgeous set of figures, aren't they? I bet they're a few pennies if you can find those now. And the lovely cleaning brush. Yeah, it's nagging me now. I think I have seen this when we had this catalogue out quite some time ago. But maybe the last time I looked in the 67 catalogue, we had the other variant of it. Not variant, my other version of it. We've got an assembly pack here, getting quite late in the day for the CKD or assembly type packs. So that's a green princess. Gorgeous items on the page. So I don't think we'll stay long with this, and we'll go and have a look at the set. So I think we've seen plenty of catalogue action in the past. I wonder if we can just... it's always worth having a look at these catenary pictures, isn't it? They become quite intriguing when you look over them. It was such a gorgeous system. It takes such a lot of time and effort to get this running. So I will be visiting it again, because I do find it quite good fun. Yeah, so we've got caught with the catalogue again, haven't we? So lovely wagons. These are much later wagons. These have all got the Mark III style couplings compared to the ones I've been renovating over the last few days. Grand set of coaches. I've got not uncoupler, the converter wagon there, the horse box, the variant of the horse box. Again, some more of those terrific figures. And the ever-present battle space from this period, very popular items. Pages of it, look. And that great diorama. So we've got some really stunning items in there. Got the double items all creeping into the range, and they've got the Southern Electric there sitting at the back. All sorts of little things. When you look at it, I'll leave a picture of that at the end if you want to have a closer look at that. So let's just move on. Yeah, we've seen all of these things from time to time. And I don't have any of that. I always thought it might be quite nice, but it's again very hard to get hold of, and get hold of enough of it to do what you want. So this foam underlay looks quite intriguing, doesn't it? I think it rotted away quite rapidly. I think it all sort of goes crumbly and vanishes in the Mimic motorway. So let's have a look at this terrific set. Gorgeous picture on the box. Intercity Express, trying Hornby. One end of this box has a price there. Is it £6.7 and 9 perhaps? We've got rusty staples. We won't handle it too much. It's not completely broken, but these things have been made out of such soft card. So I think we'll just leave that alone there, and then we'll have a look at the contents of this set. So it's got the plastic insert. It's not in terrific condition. It has got some splits in it. It becomes very fragile, and it also shrinks a little. These models are quite difficult to get out, so we'll leave them in situ, and we'll have a look at them sort of individually a bit later on. So we've got a couple of Pullman firsts there, R228. They became available sort of 1958 to 73, and then we've got the Pullman brake there. So that's R328, that came along 1960 to 73. So this set of Pullmans in here doesn't have coloured table lamps. So the lampshades are just plain metal, brass coloured. And in this particular group of items, I know we've got the gorgeous diesel locomotive there, R751. I think, again, we just said this first became available sort of 65, and in green just lasted till 67, I think. We've got the Super 4 track. We've got enough pieces to make an oval of track. We've got the uncoupler there. So we've seen those in action before. I think the Series 3 is a far superior variant of that, where it's built into the track with a little lever arm to activate it, and a power clip there, always handy to have. There, I've got that group of items on the rails a few days later than I was anticipating. We're now Sunday morning. I think I shot the earlier video back on Tuesday. Let's give this a little bit of power and see how we do. I've got it on that sort of inner loop which connects the inside to the outside. So it's not a loop, it's a crossover, I suppose. So the only point I've had trouble with is the one we're about to go through. It tends to climb off. Well, not too bad that time. I have got some added weight over the dummy bogie, and it seems to like running motor bogie first. So let's just bring this up to the station. Actually, I've forgotten we haven't got it set to the station. Let's take it round again, and we'll switch the points, and we will get it to the station. So we'll just come back a little, and come down and have a look at it passing this lovely group of items. And we're going to turn around into the sunshine here. The camera doesn't like the high contrast of the sunlight streaming through the window on that wall. Actually, let's just back up there, because it's that point before I get carried away. So if I switch that one, I can bring it up to the station. So let's make that one straight. And I'm just going to change one behind me as well, just in case we come back around the inside later on and forget about it. So we'll make that one straight as well. So let's pull that into the station. Just ease that along the platform. I think we're all in there. Let's just check where we are. Yeah, I think I'm just going to change that one as well, so we've got the outside line to ourselves without any derailments. Excellent. So I think we could just run the Albert Hall swiftly round, couldn't we? So I've got the Albert Hall sitting over there. Let's switch these two. Let's make these straight, and that will give us the Albert Hall. An express service with this, I think. swift stop at the station. Oh, I've just noticed when I was fiddling, putting all those things away, I must have knocked the tender on this Britannia here. We'll just pop that, see if we can pop that on the rails. It's amazing what you knock when you're not really watching what you're doing. I must put those away. I don't think they're of much use. I suppose I could have a go at sort of trying to iron out the wrinkles in there, but I don't think it's going to be terribly successful. Let's give this a run back to the other station. So I think you'd have been very pleased with this RS9 set if you'd got this for Christmas or your birthday. It's an interesting group of models. Diesel locomotive, 3 Pullmans. I don't know whether the naming was random on these two coaches. So you could have got the other ones. We could have got Mary and Anne, perhaps. So I don't know, it's just down to the people packing the boxes at the factory decided which ones you were going to get. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong point there. That's the one at the other end of the platform. Let's go for a little more power now, and then we'll have a swift look over those coaches. So let's stand right back. So that's going to disappear for a second or two there. Let's see if we can get a nicer shot of that coming round past the elevated section. I'm going to step backwards over the cables. So I missed it coming round the corner there. Let's see if I can get it better in this corner of the railway this time. Yeah, that's where I lost track of it before. So I'm just going to stop that there. We'll whip off those coaches and have a swift look over them. Here's the 3 coaches from the set. So we've got Triang and Made in England on the bottom of all of them. Now the model numbers are on the bottom of these, so the coaches are 228. I think we can just see it in there. And the brake, it's just hiding down there. It's partially obscured by the underframe detail there, and that's R328. Very, very tiny. I don't think I can get that close enough to maintain focus, but I'll put an insert picture in there of how that looks. But you've got the securing screw running right through the coach, holding the roof on. Quite nice condition Mark III couplings there, so roofs are reasonably well matched, as we said earlier. I think there's a slight mark on that one there. We'll just pop those down and have a quick look over the brake here. So we've got no painted lampshades in these coaches, but they're in fairly nice condition apart from the number 9 missing there. So I think that would have been somebody's attempt to renumber if you've got more than one of these, perhaps in a rake or a collection. So it might be nice to have a slightly different number. I don't know whether they didn't get around to renumbering these, did they? I think the later ones produced in the mid 70s had names on stickers that you could name them yourself. So there's a variety of names. I think the later ones I've got in the Silver Jubilee set, that's the word I'm looking for there, have alternative names, and the customer could have changed the names on the side of the coach. So that's quite a good idea, really. They'd started doing that for locomotives, names and numbers from the early 70s on, but they're quite lovely condition. I don't know if you remember, a couple of weeks ago, somebody had kindly given me some items, and there were 3 coaches. And I think in that video I went ahead and cleaned up the brake, and I cleaned up the other 2 there. If you look at the insert picture, you'll be able to see how dirty they were. So they've just been stored for many years. So I've got all of those cleaned up. Now these have got sleeved wheels, but they've got closed axle boxes, so they've got an axle encased within the bogie, and both of those wheels run freely. So I'm just going to pop that down. We'll just have a look over one of them. So these roofs are quite matte compared to these ones, which are quite shiny. So they've cleaned up relatively well. So we've got Jane. So unfortunately, we've got a pair of Janes and a pair of car 79s and a pair of Ruths on the railway today. So I'm going to run all of these together. So we'll extend the rake and see how we do with that. We've got the painted lampshades in this set of 3 coaches. The brake, though, I didn't get around to finding an additional securing screw for this, so we can just whip off the top here and have a look. See, no securing screw. I must probably find one in the drawer with scrap coaches. So we'll just whip that off, and you see the securing screw would go into that one there. I don't know what the other 2 were meant for. Maybe a lighting unit or something to be suspended from there. Possibly, I don't know. I'm just guessing at it, but it's interesting to have those extra 2 sort of bosses there on the underside. And we can see that really nice seating unit there with the painted lampshades, glazing strips running in there, lattice work on the one end, and we've got separate pieces running around for the end detail there. I always say that these are just such stunning looking items, and they're quite simply done, just with this little bit of printing in cream on the side, so you get this lovely deep chocolate cream. So we'll pop those, actually we'll just get rid of those, and I'll get those on the rail in a moment. So we'll leave those out of shot there. We'll just have a quick look over the locomotive. So I couldn't pinch this out of the box earlier on, so I'll leave a bit of footage with this on the rolling road at the end. So it does have a little bit of mottling. There's some slight spotting. I don't know whether you can see in the grey paint work on the top. It doesn't come off, and you can't feel it in the surface. But apart from that, it's quite good. Tiniest nick out of the decal on both sides. So I think that's a sticky label on the front end there. And again, you look down this side, possibly a tiny nick out of there, and just a section of that number just beginning to rub away, but all in fairly nice condition. The code in this end plugs into the body, so if you just look at the insert picture there, you can see the 2 parts plugged together, and the code's become a little bit shifted on the plug. I think it's just the glue has just sort of moved up a little bit, but I'm going to leave that alone. I'm not going to try and peel it off and put it back in again. But yeah, these bogies, the very similar bogie on the Class 31, I've taken the flanges off the centre there, which improves the running on these tight curves on the Series 3. But there's just the one point I've had trouble with, I indicated earlier on. So far, it all seems fairly good. And again, drive gear looks pretty good. They're not too worn. Wheels are quite nice, and it does make a slight whistle going in one direction and the other. I think that's the pickup wiper on the back of the wheel, on one of the wheels. Let's just adjust the pressure on that to change that, I think. But I think we'll just stick with it for now. The 3 coaches at the end of the train there have the sleeved wheels. The 3 at the front have the pinpoints there from the RS.9 set. I've just got the points set up, he says, hopefully, so we can just move the Albert Hall there. We'll just move it around to the inside line so we can get a little bit of double running done. So we'll just move that through. So that'll come under the elevated section. And we'll just bring it gently to a stop, and we'll tidy up the points behind that. Oh, I haven't gone quite far enough forward there. And then we'll sort out those points. So that one wants to go straight, and then the one at the tail end of those coaches. There we go. So I just need to split it into 2 railways and energize the other half. So There we go. So I've got this locomotive now. We just need to open up the points there, and then that'll be on the handheld. So let's have a look down there. So we'll make that curved. Just grab the handheld unit, and we'll give that a little power. We'll see if we can get that to move off. A little bit of a squeak coming from something there. I don't think that one's the one from the pickup on the locomotive. That sounds to be on the coach, to be honest. I'm just going to pull that out of there, and then we'll straighten that one, so when we come back through we don't derail the whole train. This could be rather inconvenient at this length. Loads of coaches to set right. So we'll go with some more power now. We'll just give this a once around, see if it behaves itself. I'm going to stand right back here. We'll see if we can get the full effect of all those Pullmans charging off into the distance there. They seem to be behaving themselves. So if I put down the controls, and as this comes past the Albert Hall, we'll see if we can get that to move away as well. See if we can get a bit of double running just to finish off here. Makes quite a tremendous racket once we've got both of these things running. Can't be long till there's some form of derailment or other with this amount of coaches in action, wheels and so on. So I think that's probably it for today. But thanks again for looking in, hugely appreciated. If you look back again next time, we'll see if we can have something else interesting to have a look at. Goodbye now.